Hey friends! Welcome to today's video. I have such a treat for you guys today. It certainly is a treat for me. I feel so excited and honored to be filming this video today for a couple of reasons. Today's video is a collaboration with 4 amazing women here on YouTube. I love their channels and I adore them. You guys are probably already familiar with all of these women, but I will have their channels listed and linked in the description box. But it is Michelle Wong here on YouTube, the Queen of Luxury. Alicia from Kinky Sweat. I love Alicia's videos. They're very thorough. If you follow her on Instagram, you probably went down the rabbit hole that I did, which is like, she's also really into fitness, which is something I'm passionate about, but I don't even come close to her. Like, I'm in awe of her. Kelsey Brianna J, who I feel like every time you watch her channel, you just smile. Like, you feel like you're hanging out with your best friend and she's just positive and wonderful, super entertaining, beautiful, fabulous makeup looks. Love her. I've gotten to know her a little bit better this year and I consider her a friend. And then also Chelsea from Glam Girl Chelsea, which is like one of the sweetest channels here on YouTube. Adore her. She's absolutely stunning and beautiful and does gorgeous glam looks. Love all of those ladies. So I will have all of their channels and their videos listed down below. Now let's get to the next reason why this video is so exciting, because today we are going to be doing looks from our friend Mel Thompson's brand new palette in collaboration with Sydney Grace. Yay! Can we get a drum roll, please? Drum roll. Drum roll. Okay. So Tiny Marvels is the palette. This palette launches tomorrow. You might have already seen Mel's video about this palette, which will be linked in the description box as well. So excited, you guys, for this collaboration. I will show some swatches of this palette up close so you can see it. Let me tell you why I'm excited for this collaboration. I'm excited for this collaboration because I love Sydney Grace. Sydney Grace is, you've heard me talk about them on my channel a few times. They are I consider one of the best quality shadows that I've ever tried. It's an indie brand, which I love even more. I've spoken to the owner, Heather, a few times, and you love the brand, and then you get to know Heather and you love it even more. It's a brand owned by 2 sisters, actually, and the quality, you guys, in every single formula, whether it's matte or shimmer or foiled shadows, is just amazing. I feel like some brands, they nail the shimmer formula really well, they nail the matte, but it's hard. There's always like something in the palette that doesn't quite blend right. Not the case with Sydney Grace. I have yet to find a shadow that doesn't have great payoff. Wait, what am I saying? I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Everything I've tried from Sydney Grace, I love. It's amazing. Mel is a huge supporter of Sydney Grace. If you follow her here on YouTube, you already know that. So I feel like this collaboration is just perfect. I feel like it's like a match made in heaven for both of them. And I'm so excited. I'm going to read you the details of the palette and then we'll get started. All of us are we're basically showing you all the ways you can wear this palette. So we were assigned each 2 different quads of colors and we're creating 2 looks using those quads. So if you watch all of our videos, you are going to see how versatile this palette really is. Okay, so I want to read this real quick and then we will get started into the video. So this is from Mel. It says, "Hey beauties, I'm so excited to announce my first eyeshadow palette collaboration with Sydney Grace. I present to you Tiny Marvels. I'm a longtime lover of tiny creatures, tattoos, colorful creations, and of course, makeup. I wanted to be able to bring all of those worlds together to curate the most marvelous palette. The shades in my palette are based on the colors and tiny critters that I have tattooed on my body. I selected an array of neutral nudes, pops of pastel, and vivid splashes of color. I hope these tiny marvels bring you as much joy as they do me. This palette is my vision, and I'll make it yours. XOXO Mel." This launches tomorrow, Friday, August 7th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The only place you can buy this palette is on SydneyGraceCo.com. I will have that, of course, listed in the description box below. The palette will cost $52 and it includes 15 shades. So again, all of that information will be listed. Before we get started, I just want to say, Mel, we love you. We could not be more excited and honored to support you. I've known about this launch for about a week or so when I got the palette, and I just feel giddy. Like I feel like it's my launch or something. Like I'm like, I can't wait. You deserve this. You deserve this and all your success. You are such a special, special person here on YouTube. You're extremely talented. You are not only a talented makeup artist, but you are, now that I've gotten to know you this year, you are one of the sweetest, sweetest souls that I've met, and I adore you and I love you and I'm happy for you. Congratulations. Okay, let's get started. So for this first look, I've already applied a shade underneath my brow for a highlight, and I did kind of go outside the rules here and I grabbed this shade right here. It's called Tree Hopper for my crease. Given the quad that I was assigned, which is Jewel Bee, Marvel, Death Moth, and Mantis, the Death Moth was just a little too dark for my first transition shade, so I wanted to add something there as a base. So I did cheat a little, sorry ladies, and I grabbed Tree Hopper. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, so first I'm going to dig into the palette and I'm gonna grab the shade Marvel, which actually might be my favorite shade from this palette. I love shades like this. It's this beautiful rose gold, but there's actually two rose golds in the palette. There's Meadowhawk, which I'm going to use in the next look, and then there's Marvel, and they kind of look similar in the pan, but they pay off very differently. Meadowhawk has a lot more gold, so you will see that in the next look that I do. But I'm going to go in here with Marvel, and I'm going to take my 203 BK Beauty brush, and I'm going to just load it up on the side. This particular formula is great to use with your fingers, but, and I mentioned this in the next look, so you're gonna hear this on repeat, but because I have lash extensions, I have to use a brush so that I can control where I apply it. And I'm just gonna pack this really all over my eyelid, including my inner corner. Oh, this shade is so, so beautiful. This shade is one of those shades that is just gonna look stunning on everyone, regardless of skin tone, hair coloring, eye coloring. It's just gorgeous. That's so beautiful. So the way that you're gonna get the most payoff with this particular shade and formula is to pack it on. If you notice, I'm really kind of pressing and packing. I'm not wiping back and forth. I'm not shearing it out. The lighter pressure that you have and the more movement you have with your brush, the more blended and sheared out a product's gonna be. If you want to really get the most punch from the shadow and impact, you're gonna wanna press it like this. So I'm just going back and forth. What I love about these shades is you can really build them up and get that more, not even a little more color, but that real intense foiled look the more you build. So I'm really building it. Got a little eyelash here. I'm really building it and I'm concentrating a lot of that into the inner corner because I want, when you look at the eyes, I just want that color to really pop there in the inner corner. So nice. Okay, next I'm actually gonna take the same brush and I'm gonna dig into Death Moth, which is this really pretty kind of cool toned deeper brown shade. It's matte. And I'm gonna take the 203 brush that I just had and now I'm using the tip of the brush. So before with the Marvel, I was using the side. Now I'm gonna go in and use the tip, you guys. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want a lot of control of where I apply the color. I'm gonna go back and blend it out with a different brush, but I wanted to control where that color goes. So I really want that to be built right here in this outer corner and into the crease, but I want it almost to be a little like a cut crease. I'm gonna go back and forth, back and forth. Okay. Do you see how this brush just really helps you can control it? And you know what the heck, we're gonna take this over a little bit more. So I'm actually moving it from the outer corner to not quite middle of the eye, but I am darkening a little more of that outer lid. Then I'm gonna take the 202 brush. So any blending brush, I didn't add any product to this. I'm just using it for its blending ability. And I'm gonna just kind of go back and forth and blend it just to soften the edges. I still want that contrast in light and dark. I don't wanna blend it too much, right? I still want that real intense contrast. I just want to soften the edges so that it looks, a little softer, a little prettier. Perfect. Okay, then I'm gonna go back and do the other side. I love when you take a foiled shadow like the light one and you pop a really dark matte next to it. It just intensifies it even more, makes it pop. We're gonna go and soften and blend. Perfect. Okay, so I want to kind of fine tune the outer corner. I'm gonna take the blending brush that I have, the 202, and I'm gonna dip the tip into that shade at Death Moth. And we're just gonna kind of put put the tip in the eyelid and then hold my hand up so that it's diffusing and blending upwards. Does that make sense? This brush is great because it's tapered in a way that the small hairs will kind of do all the work for you when you do this little trick. So So all I want to do is just diffuse that color a little bit higher. Oh, I love that. It's very smoky, very sultry. So nice. So nice. Okay, now I've got these two shades to play with. I've got the shade Jewel Bee and the shade Mantis, both very vibrant pops of color. Jewel Bee is this really gorgeous kind of mid-tone, almost like a lilac-y purple, but deeper than a lilac. And then Mantis is just like this really unique, vibrant matte green. So let's see, what are we gonna do here? I'm gonna put them both on my lower lid. That's how I like to wear really fun pops of color, is to kind of smoke it into my lower lash line. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take, do I have a pencil brush here? I don't. So you know what, I'm gonna use a clean 203 brush. So this is the same brush that I use to pack on the lid. Just something that gives me a little control. This has I'm gonna use the tip of this brush, not the side. It's fluffier than like a pencil brush. So it's gonna give a much softer, smokier look. It's also gonna make it a little thicker, that line a little thicker. And I'm gonna go in with Mantis first, okay? I'm gonna go in with this green first. We're gonna load up the tip and we're going to layer that on the lower lash line. It's very easy to work with. Like you guys know on my channel, I do a lot of neutral looks. But this color is really easy to work with and to sheer out and to really get, oh, that's so pretty. I love that. Okay, next we're gonna go with the shade Jewel Bee, and I'm gonna take a stiffer brush. I'm gonna start with the tiny little angle brush, super, super small, okay? And we are going to load that guy up, and we're going to really concentrate this close to the lash line. Okay, you know what? No, that brush is too small. I'm not really getting much payoff from that. So I'm gonna use a pencil brush. This is the MAC, I think this is the 219. So this has a pointier tip, and I'm gonna load the tip above it. And, oh yeah, that's what I want. I love when you mix green and purple together. So green and purple are complementary colors. So when you lay them next to each other, they make each other pop. When you layer them on top of each other, they kind of neutralize a little bit. So that's a good tip if you're ever doing, if you're like kind of dipping your toe in the color pool water, you want to wear some color, but you normally wear a lot of neutrals. If you ever do a color and you feel like it's a little too much, you can always take the complementary color of that color and apply it on top, and it's gonna help kind of tone it down a little bit. Oh, that is so pretty. Do you see what that did? So this is what the shade looks like on its own, a very vibrant, beautiful pastel purple. But when you put it on top of that green, it kind of like makes it a little bit more of a blue shade. Really pretty. A bluish purple. So I want more color on the outer corners, so I'm kind of layering it and just adding a little bit more there. That's nice. Okay. So I love the way that looks. I do want a little bit more definition on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go back in with that tiny little angle brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Death Moth right here, that brown. And we're gonna use this to apply more depth to the lower lash line. Look at that, you guys. Isn't it interesting? I have on this purple and this green on my lower lash line, but do you see what I've created? Something a little softer and a little neutral. So don't be intimidated by color. Oh, I love that. Next, I'm gonna line the inner rim of my eye with a brightening pencil, and this is a brow highlight pencil actually by Wet n Wild. I like it because it's bright and white, but it has a pink tone to it. I kind of steer away from really stark white liners there, but I do want it to be pretty bright. And then I'm gonna add a coat of mascara to my lower lash line. If you do the liner trick, you wanna do the liner in the inner rim before you do your mascara, because if you do your mascara first, and then you go in with that light pencil, you're likely to get that white pencil on your lashes, and it's very distracting. It's very obvious. You don't want it to look obvious that you have lined your inner rim, and it will look that way if you get it into your lashes. So always do mascara last. Oh, that is so pretty. I am totally living for this. It's so gorgeous. I kind of want to keep playing, you guys. I know that I could be done, but I kind of want to keep playing. So I'm going to take a eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to take the shade Jewel Bee, this purple. I want to see more of that. So I'm going to kind of load up the tip, and we're just going to have fun. Let's see what it looks like if we pop it right here in the center. Popping it right in the center, kind of to be a little transition for that Death Moth, that dark brown, and that Marvel, that foiled. Ooh, yes, I'm glad we did this. this was the right move. So I'm just packing it right there in the, oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. I can't believe I was almost gonna like stop this look and I would have missed out on this. Okay, that is gorgeous. So basically I'm just taking it and I'm pressing it in the center of the lid to transition that Death Moth and that Marvel shade. Oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. Holy moly. Okay, then the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go and fine tune that outer corner. Now that we've added lighter color, I wanna make sure that I go back and deepen that. Oh, see, this is like the tricky part where you don't wanna blend too much, because if you blend too much, then they all fuse together and you lose that separation. Okay, that I'm kind of loving. Last thing, I promise, is I'm gonna take a little brush. This is the 272 by MAC. And I'm gonna take that shade Marvel again, and we're gonna pop it right there in the inner corner just to make sure we don't lose that. And you know what? We're even gonna take that right here. We're gonna take that right there. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. And this is the finished look. I am seriously loving this look. It's a really beautiful, wearable way to wear color. I love that purple. I'm so glad I added that in the center of the lid. So beautiful. So I'm gonna start by taking walking stick, this one right here, and I'm gonna take a big fluffy blending brush. This is a 201 by BK Beauty, and I'm going to sweep this into the crease to create some definition and a good transition. These these shadows have so much pigment. It's amazing. I barely tapped my brush inside the shadow and it gave me so much color. And this brush usually applies color pretty light and sheerly because of the way that it's designed and the fluffiness to it. But these shadows have so much pigment that, I mean, you really just have to kind of dab your brush into the product. Pretty. Then we go to the other side. So you really want to work that back and forth so you have a nice kind of blended, diffused look in the shadow. So it's real soft and kind of smoky. Pretty. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the shade Meadowhawk, which is this gorgeous, gorgeous like foiled goldy pink shade. And normally I like to apply these shadows, this formula with my finger, but because I have these like giant lash extensions, I'm going to need to use a brush to just get a little more control over where I put it. So I'm going to use the side of the brush. I like to really load the side of the brush up versus the tip. And I'm just gonna kind of press this onto the lid and check this out. So, I mean, the effect of this formula of shadow is just like, it looks like liquid. It is amazing. I love a good foiled shadow that not only gives you that texture of a foiled metallic finish, but also the pigment is really rich. Sometimes you see shadows in palettes and they look like super foiled and super shimmery, but when you put them on the eye, they're very chunky, there's a lot of fallout, you don't see a lot of color. That is not the case with Sydney Grace. So I'm just gonna pack this onto the lid, taking it all the way to the inner corner. So pretty. I also want to mention that if you want to get, if you want to get a more sheer application of the foiled shadows, I'm going to show you. You can just change your brush up. So I'm using a dense kind of shader brush. This brush is short hairs. They're very dense. So its job is to pick up a lot of product and deposit a lot of product. As you can see, you get a very I mean, it's hard to tell. There you go. I guess when the light is kind of reflecting off of it. Do you see how intense that payoff is? Now, if you like that color, but you want something a little more sheer, you can take a fluffier brush. Like here's just an example of a fluffier brush. And I'm going to dip it into the same shadow. And I'm going to apply it with this brush. And as you can see, it's not as, do you see the difference in those two? So you can still achieve, you know, a more sheer kind of lighter wash of shimmer and color with these shadows. Don't be intimidated is what I'm trying to say. Like if you're someone that shies away from shimmer because you feel like it accentuates texture or something, you can always still play with these by just mixing your brushes up. I mean, look at that. That is the exact same eyeshadow. The only difference is the brush that I used. So just a little tip from me to you. Okay, so next I'm going to go in, I'm going to pack that shade Meadowhawk on the other eyelid. It's so pretty. It's like the perfect balance of peach and pink and gold. So pretty. I'm gonna try not to take it too far to the inner corner. I really don't want to cover that walking stick shade. I just want it to meet it. Oh, so pretty. Now I'm gonna actually go back and I'm gonna take a blending brush that has more of a tapered tip. This is the 202 by BK Beauty. And I'm gonna take that same shade walking stick and I'm just gonna take a little bit on the tip here. And I'm gonna go in and intensify that crease and outer corner just a little bit. Oh, that is so pretty. Perfect. Okay. Oh, that's so gorgeous. Okay, so for the lower lash line, I'm going to take this shade here, Mantis. It's this really vibrant matte green. It's such a unique color. And I'm going to blend this on my lower lash line. And I'm using a pencil brush, something that's a little fluffier and round. This is the BK Beauty 207 because I want it to be real smoky and soft. So I'm not taking an angle brush or a stiff liner brush. I want something that's a little, that still gives me that, you know, precise control because it's small and dense, but a little fluffier than, you know, a flat angle brush. And I'm just gonna kind of layer it up and load it up. And I'm actually gonna kind of bring it down a little bit because I'm gonna layer a shadow on top of this. And I want you to see a little bit of that green peeking through the bottom. I don't want it to cover it entirely. So pretty. This is a really fun way to wear color. If you are someone that is really attracted to a bright, beautiful palette like this, but you find yourself not wearing the bold colors, use them as a lower lash liner and they just add a fun pop of color to your look, but keep it very wearable. Next, I'm going to take the shade Fire Butts and we're going to take the same brush and we're just going to go kind of right over that green. I'm going to keep it real soft though. I'm gonna keep it really nice and soft. You see what that does? It just adds a little shimmer. Next, I'm gonna take a smaller brush. This is the 204 by BK Beauty. It's a little smudger brush. And I'm gonna take the shade Walking Stick again. This is the shade we did in our crease. Oops, shade we did in our crease. And I'm going to layer this just on the outer corner of the lash line. I'm not gonna take it all the way over. I'm just gonna take it on the outer corner. So nice. Okay, next I'm gonna take a little mascara and I'm just gonna add it to my lower lashes. And this completes that look. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. You know, when I was assigned this quad, I looked at the four shadows, these four here, and I was thinking, how am I gonna pull those together? Because they wouldn't really be colors that I would necessarily put together, but I actually love the way this came out. I feel like it's a fun way to wear color, but it's still soft and very wearable and neutral. I love it. That's what I love about these shades from this palette is you can achieve a very neutral look, but you can also add pops of color, and you can also get a really vibrant, colorful look. So you can kind of get everything in one palette. So really happy with the way this look came out. And that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed that play on two different looks. Definitely check out the other ladies. I will have all of their videos to this collaboration listed in the description box so you can see how versatile and how many different ways you can wear this palette. Also, definitely go and support Mel. Give her some love today. This is such a huge day for her. I am seriously so excited. I wish I could see her and squeeze her right now. I'm just so happy for her. Congratulations, Mel, again. We adore you. We love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.